Ugh. But can you see me? Because I'm in camo. Get it? You can't see me. Are we excited for WrestleMania? That's soon-ish. Coming up, I think. John Cena main event will be very fun. But how has my week been? Pretty rough because I almost died. So that was a fun time. I went to work, my little day job, my little 9 to 5, and they let us order food for lunch. And I ordered Indian food because I was like, I'm gonna try something new. I don't usually eat Indian food. So on their little online ordering platform, it's kind of like Uber Eats. I was looking at the dishes and I picked the one that said no nuts. It was some chicken and rice concoction. I started eating it and it was good. It was really good for a bit. And there's this sauce, and I opened the sauce and I smelled it. I was like, I wonder if this is like a peanut sauce because I'm allergic. It smelled fine. I did my little teaspoon test. Nothing happened. So I'm still eating, and a little bit of time goes on, let's say 10 minutes. And I turned to my coworker who's beside me and I was like, "Ooh, I don't feel good. Is this why people say Indian food runs right through you?" And she said, "Oh, do you have to I said, "No, I have to hurl." So I was like, "Okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom." And I go to the bathroom and my eyes are bloodshot red. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm having an allergic reaction, aren't I?" And I don't even have my EpiPen. So I go back and I'm feeling nauseous. I'm feeling very tense in my airway. My eyes are bloodshot. My skin is a little red. And I was like, I turned to her and I said, "I got to leave. I'm leaving." So I leave my office and I start walking home because I don't know why I walked home. I probably should have went to the hospital is what I should have done. So I walk home. It takes me about 20 minutes to walk home. As I'm walking home, I'm gasping for air. I get home, I go to the bathroom, and I look in the mirror, and my veins are bulging, my skin is red, my neck is all red, swollen, whatever. And I sit on the toilet, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I am gonna die." So I get up, I get myself some water, and I go lay in my bed. I pull out my EpiPen. I lay it right beside my bed, because I'm like, if I'm gonna go, I'm not ready to go just yet. I'm gonna lay here, and if I feel the need to stab myself, I'm gonna just blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. Ow, that hurt. So for about 3 4 hours I was writhing in pain. At some point I made it to the bathroom floor, so I was laying on the bathroom floor, and eventually I got all the food out of me in one barfed. I barfed up everything and it was really gross. But then after that, I felt great. I felt skinny. I didn't have any more allergens in me. I felt my throat opening up again. So I decided to treat myself with some McDonald's because I needed food because I didn't have anything in me. So I got McDonald's and then I went to bed really early. And now I'm never going to order Indian food again because allergies they're not fun. Allergies is, I won't lie, I'm a little reckless with it, but I don't have allergic reactions too often. It's funny. The older I get, the more frequent they are, and I think it's because my give a fucks are non-existent anymore. At this point, I'm going to eat what I'm going to eat. If I go, I go. My time is my time, whatever. If I want to enjoy something with a little bit of risk in my life, I'm going to enjoy something with a little bit of risk in my life. Because the previous time I had an allergic reaction that was pretty bad before this was, I want to say it was high school, grade 12. So how old are you? 17? In my defense, it was not what you expected. We were at a winery. It was me and my family. It was February. There was a skating rink. So we were at a winery. I don't skate. Not a skater. Don't know how. I'm not going to start learning. And to be honest, I don't care to. So my dad, my brother, my sister were skating, and me and my mom go to get food. So my mom gets a wine, and I'm like, can I have the piggy poutine? It was like a pulled pork poutine. I order it. I start eating it. Something's off here. My lips were feeling a little swollen. And I turned to my mom. I said, I need a drink. So I grab her wine and I chug it and I run to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I look at myself in the mirror. My lips are now a little purpley. My throat's getting a little scratchy. My breathing is very wheezy. And I was like, oh no, not again. So I go back to my mom. I said, I'm having an allergic reaction. What? Okay, be calm. Let's go get me Benadryl. It's a Sunday, and pharmacy, it was like 1 p.m. on a Sunday, and everything is starting to close. So we're driving, and we stop at this grocery store, and there's some allergy pills, but there's no Benadryl. And I was like, can we please just grab something? I need to take an allergy pill. My mom said, no, there's a pharmacy down the street. So we keep driving. At this point, my mom is running red lights, one-handed driving the steering wheel. Her other hand is like rifling through her purse, trying to find the EpiPen. And I'm, wait a minute. We're not stabbing me right now. I'm not ready to be blue to the sky, orange to the thigh. Not ready for that. So we get to the pharmacy, and they were just barely open. They were closing soon. We run in to the allergy section, and we find Benadryl liquid, rip it open, and start taking it before we even pay. We take the allergy meds. We go back to the winery, and I feel very sick. And I said, I want to go home. No one was taking me home. They needed to finish their wine. My brother and sister wanted to skate, so I sat there, sick, felt like I was dying with an allergic reaction. Well, they all just chit-chatted for a couple hours. Then finally I got home, and I projectile vomited everywhere. Uncontrollable projectile vomiting. It was disgusting. But moral of the story is, why was there nuts on a poutine? You don't put nuts on a poutine. It was, I guess, some Thai flavored poutine, but it wasn't disclosed on the menu, and it was a little winery bar, so why would there be nuts on a poutine? It makes no sense. So silly. But having an allergy is fun. You never know what kind of drama you can cause with it. Food is dangerous, if I'm being honest. I think all of my major injuries or hardships in life are sort of related to food. I remember in first year of university, we made some popcorn. It was everyone on my floor. It was the first night. New city, new people, you're socializing, you're having fun. So we get popcorn, and I am sitting down in my little shorts, and the guy beside me passes it to me, and he puts it on my leg. What neither of us realized is that the popcorn bowl was scalding hot, sat on my leg, burned me. I don't know what degree burn, but what I do know is all of a sudden there was a giant blister on my leg from this popcorn. And that was the first day, and it was right on my knee. And it's really hard to walk around with a giant blister on your knee. And keep in mind, this is your first day of university. You have orientation week, frosh week. There's a lot of activities going on. So I was walking around with this giant bandage on my on my knee, and I don't think I called my parents for a few days because I didn't want to tell them that, hey, it was my first night you ever left me alone in a new city with new people, and I got a 3rd-degree burn on my leg from a popcorn bowl. Because how stupid is that? You know what the worst part of being an adult who lives on their own is, that I don't think we talk about enough, is dinner. Making dinner every night, or meal prepping dinner so you can have it for every night. Just eating, making sure you're fed. It is actually really hard to make sure you're having a balanced diet. And I don't want to hear it from anyone who says, "Oh, no, it's easy. You got to do this and you got to make this and you got to make sure you're having this many grams of protein and this many ounces of fruit and you should have this fancy homemade peanut butter pina colada banana pancake for your breakfast." I don't have time for that. I don't have time to make myself all of these different meals with all these different ingredients. I'm on a budget. I'm not going to buy a seasoning or a sauce that I'm only going to use for one meal cuz then it's going to expire and it takes up space in my fridge. And I'm in a teeny tiny apartment. I don't got room for a bunch of different sauces. So meal prepping as an adult and making sure you're fed every night is hard. And you know what I think makes it hard? Not the act of cooking. Cooking is really easy, if we're being honest. I'm not going to say really easy. I understand it's a science, it's an art, whatever. But to be a passable cook is fairly easy. The hard part is finding the motivation to stay fed all the time, because then you make your dish, you make your few dishes. I'm on my rice and beef teriyaki bowl kick, but the problem is I'll eat it for 2 weeks and then I never want to eat it again. And then I don't want to eat beef or rice. So then what do I move on to? Chicken and lettuce? Okay, that's fun for a couple weeks. And then I don't want to eat chicken and lettuce for like a year. So the hard part I find about being an adult is making meals every day, making sure you're fed, properly buying groceries, but actually making sure you don't get bored of the meals, because there's such a tendency to make the same thing over and over. I miss when I had my tonsils out. So I got my tonsils removed about 2 years ago now. No, not even. I got my tonsils removed about a year ago. Best time of my life. Don't get me wrong. The actual portion of pain, well, I was on pretty heavy painkillers, so I didn't really feel anything. But it was the best. I was off of work for 2 weeks. All I ate was fluids and liquids and ice cream and applesauce and mashed potatoes. Oh my, I had so much mashed potatoes. I would potatoes. My mom would mash me potatoes because I couldn't function. Okay, I just had surgery, so she made me mashed potatoes, and I would put a little bit of ketchup in it and a lot of butter. Oh, so much butter! You had to put so much butter so it would go down. And all I ate for 2 weeks was mashed potatoes and ice cream and fruits. No, I didn't have fruit smoothies. I couldn't because of the seeds. I had mashed potatoes and ice cream and water, and that was it. But it was the best because all I did was lay on the couch and I played Lego Fortnite for 45 minutes, and then I would nap for an hour, and I would wake up again and I'd play some more Fortnite for 45 minutes, and I would nap again for an hour. And it was great. Don't get me wrong, the recovery part and not being able to swallow and all that was hard, and it was mentally draining about how you couldn't eat anything. And then you keep thinking you're going to get better, and the next day you wake up, you're worse, because I found like the worst day for me was day 8. The whole tonsil situation, horrible recovery. But it was also so nice not to have to do anything and not have to worry about food and what I'm going to eat, because it was all just mashed potatoes. That was a good time. That was a really, really fun time for me. I'm on my new health kick, right? It's summertime's coming. It doesn't feel like it because it's currently fucking snowing in middle of April here. So it doesn't feel like summer's coming, but it's time to get my summer body in shape. I want to tone up a bit. I want to be a little skinny, a teeny tiny boy. I'm just a teeny tiny boy. So I'm gonna start eating clean, but I don't actually know what even eating clean means. Like, what, kale and ice chips? I guess. Anyways, totally forgot where I was going with this. Oh, the problem I'm having with eating clean is I can't give up my snack, which is Chips Ahoy original cookies and milk, and I have to have it every night. If I don't, I feel off, and I don't just have a cookie, two cookies, three. No, I have a whole row and a half. I have a solid 12 cookies every night. 12 Chips Ahoy cookies. It's I'm actually a little bit impressed. I'm not diabetic yet. That is so much sugar. That is so bad for you. But I've been doing that every single night since high school. I go through so much cookies. It's insane. I No one can keep up with how much cookies I have. So I'm trying to figure out a good substitution for that. I've discovered frozen grapes. That's actually a really awesome dessert. But grapes are so expensive in general, but especially right now. I don't know why. And they're not good. I love a big juicy grape. But yeah, frozen grapes, so good. A great dessert. But I'm trying to learn a little bit more about nutrition that isn't just Uber eating food. Or literally today for lunch I went to Subway and grabbed a sub. I had like a promo for a $5 tuna sub. It was $7, but I had a promo for a sub, for a tuna sub, and I love a tuna sub. My go-to is a tuna sub from Subway, which is so weird because I don't really ever eat tuna otherwise. Just a tuna sub from Subway. And I wouldn't get a tuna sub from anywhere else, just Subway. And I think it's not actually really all tuna. And maybe that's the key there, is mixing in a little extra. But I'm trying to learn how to eat a little bit better now so I can have a nice little summer body and I can be a teeny tiny boy with an itty bitty waist. But that's plenty of discussion about food, and I'm kind of hungry now, but I won't eat because, again, we're on a new health journey. Okay, well, bye.